It is impossible to walk with the presence of God and suffer the same fate as a person who does not walk with the presence of Jehovah. Whoever I'm speaking to today, your head will never lack oil from this day. Your hands will never be empty another day. So, come with me, Genesis chapter 12. If you could quickly turn there. Welcome, and we are going to have fun as we go through this Life of Blessing seminar. Can I please have all of you seated there at the back? Move that side or move that side. You can choose either to move into the center here, but leave those places for people who are coming late. Genesis chapter 12, and welcome to those of you that are joining us via the live stream service. God richly bless you. It shall be well with you wherever you are connected to us from. And so in the book of Genesis in chapter 12, we've spoken about the dispensations of the blessing, and here now we are in the second dispensation, which is the dispensation of the patriarchs. Are you still here? Yes. And so in this dispensation, and I want to take an angle during this teaching, because we are in, very interestingly, the year of sanctification. And who would have thought that sanctification would have something to do with blessing? All right, so Genesis chapter 12. Now the Lord had said unto Abraham, get out of your country, from your kind, from your father's house, to a land I'm going to show you, and I will make you a great nation. I will bless you and make your name great, and you shall be a blessing. And he says, and I will bless them that bless you, and I will curse him who curses you, and in you shall, talk to me someone, read it together with me, shall all the families of the earth be blessed. Now, you want to exclude your family, that's your business. But don't fight with me when I want mine included. Are you sure you're getting this? Okay, so come quickly to Galatians chapter 3. You need to tell your neighbor, this is going to be an exciting ride. Right, verse 18. Christ has redeemed us from the curse of the law, being made a curse. Oh, yataya lababa shakatai. I think we're going to shoot the religious cow right in the head. There is something I just sensed as I was coming in here, and it was to lay a foundation. So what I'm going to be talking about in the next few minutes is not in your notes, but I want to lay this as a foundation, so those people that are coming late are going to miss out like heavy duty. All right? Galatians 3 verse 18, Christ has redeemed us from the curse of the law, being made a curse for us. For it is written, cursed is everyone who hangs on a tree, that the blessing of Abraham might come on the Gentiles through, that we might receive the promises of the Spirit through faith. Brethren, he says, I speak after the manner of men, though it be but a man's covenant, yet if it be confirmed, no man can disannul it. Now, read with me verse 16. Now to Abraham and his seed were the promises made. He did not say to seeds. These promises are not for Jews. If you can't settle it here and today, you have serious issues. Let's go back, because maybe we didn't read it right. It says, now to Abraham and his seed, where the promise is made, he does not say two seeds as of many, but as of one. And to thy seed, which is Christ. Christ being the fourth dispensation of the blessing. Are you sure you're understanding this? Deuteronomy chapter 28. Because in the mouth of one or two witnesses shall every word be established. Talk to me, someone. I'm tired of people who don't read their Bibles trying to convince people that poverty is a blessing. Trying to convince people that a sickness is a blessing. So why was Jesus going around and removing people's blessings? For this reason was the Son of Man manifested, that he may destroy the works of darkness. And how did he do it? When they were hungry, he fed them. Are you sure you're getting this? When they were hungry, he fed them. When they were sick, he healed them. When they were oppressed, he delivered them. When they were dead, he raised them up. Now, where is our confusion concerning the blessing? Are you sure you're still here? I'm really sorry that some people are going to miss this introduction. I'm telling you, I wasn't thinking about it earlier on. The more I think about it, because I'm in that zone right now where I'm teaching you, no notes, there are no notes. Okay? I'm just teaching you by the Spirit. Okay, come with me now. What does the Bible show us here as being the blessing? And it shall come to pass, if you will hearken diligently to the voice of the Lord your God, and observe to do all which I command you this day, that the Lord will set you on high above the nations of the earth. And all these what? I'm not hearing you. What did you say? Shall do what? And they shall. And if you hearken to the voice of the Lord your God. All right. So, because there is a lot of things we get told, you know, some people, God blesses them with sickness. You know, it's his blessing. Yiko abantu bagita badala babe sithi tokona umntwana nxa elisela la isipho sakhe. Am I the only one who knows that? Umntwana uyahula kuthiwa la isipho sakhe lingamsoli. Yiko kuphiwa nguJehova. All right? So I want you to look at this, because I deliberately did not take the time for us to speak about Abraham. I could talk about Abraham, who could not be beaten at war by 4 nations. We are not talking about a nation but a person. This was not Israel. Israel became 12 nations. Are you sure you're getting this? This is one man. One man. And he doesn't even have a child. Ishmael is not yet born. And he defeats 4 countries who had defeated 5 countries. Making how many countries did he defeat? 9 countries. Why America? Are you sure you're getting this? At this time here, these days we talk of Warren Buffett and Bill Gates and Carlos Slim and Jeff Bezos. No, at that time they spoke of Abraham. So where do we get this mentality that lack and poverty is a blessing? He says, And these blessings shall come upon you and overtake you. Blessed will you be in the city. Blessed will you be in the field. Okay, so that doesn't really, we all have to imagine, if I'm blessed in the city, what do I look like? If I'm blessed in the field, what do I look like? Reality is, all of us know. The guy with 10 head of cattle, no one talks of him. You are not blessed in the field. Shall I go deeper? When you are in the city and you've got your 2-roomed house, nobody is coming to ask for the plan. This is where it gets quiet, isn't it? When every day, when you are cooking, people can smell. Nobody is coming to ask for recipes. There is something about the blessing. The blessing makes you attractive. Do you get this? People want to be associated with you when the blessing is upon your life. Okay, we are not talking of being rich, because you can be rich and not blessed. All right? So, we established in the past, and we will still establish it this time, that the blessing must cover 3 areas. Your spirit, your soul, your body. Your spirit, man, you are good with the Father. When the Father speaks, you are listening. You are hearing and obedient. That's Abraham. Your soul, your liver is working very well. Hello? I was doing some research today and discovered something I've never seen it done in Zimbabwe. I read about it in the past. I was reading about it again today. You go to any farm in Zimbabwe, all the cattle handling facilities are straight lines. If you have a forcing crawl is where you force the cattle to go and walk single file. We don't have a clue now. It's okulunywana. So forcing crawls is, you'll find, so it's a narrow path where the cow must get in by itself, so that it may lead even to a neck clamp. It's also called a crash. Are you sure you're still here? Do you know, 4 weeks ago I was in Shangani and there was a calf. A calf had gone into the forcing passage. The people there were not using their liver. Because if you have calves, you've got to ensure only calves then will enter. You can't mix calves and the bigger cows. In this instance, a calf got in, a big cow got in, another big cow got in. They managed to force the third cow, but animals were not designed to walk in reverse. I know people don't think about that. When you can walk reverse because Lenya is in 2. Are you sure you're getting this? No 4-legged animal, your dog at home can't do it. Your cat never does it. But we expect cows to do it. So they managed to force this one back. This one panicked, tried to force through and fell on top of the calf. Remember, this is a narrow passage. The passage is too small for the cow to stand. This cow fell with the legs underneath it. I could hear the calf going, and this is my calf. I'm not about to lose a calf because of some. So I managed to eventually lever the cow up and managed to free the calf after about 3-4 minutes. Another 3 minutes it should have died, because you could feel, you could hear the breath going out of it. Do you know how long it took to raise up the cow? Over 15 minutes. 550 kgs, trust me, are not something you easily. That's why now if I go hunting, I am not shooting any big animals. I'm trying to think to myself right now. I went to a farm one day with a very greedy man. We shot 3 kudus. The last kudu I shot was a bull. It was about that big. Shot him from about 150 meters. Nobody was thinking of the loading. Trust me. In terms of strength, at that time, I was about 4 to 5 times stronger than I am today. It took, in the regions of 30 minutes to load per animal. Do you know how long it took me to skin the animals? The other dude and his brother disappeared. From 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. I had to skin the 3 kudus all by myself. That means I had to hoist them, lift them up, skin them, open them out, take out everything, clean them, and after having done all that work, we gave one, me and my family kept 1 kudu. The 1 kudu I gave this dude, the 1 kudu he took, gave the owner of the farm, who threw it away because she just left it and it was green by the time she got to it. This farm has 18,000 cows. So when you were busy telling your friends about your 15 cows, after you hear the story, no more talk about your cattle. Are you still here? Yes. I want you to recognize that there is a lie in terms of perspective. That lie is predicated on our mindsets concerning prosperity or concerning the blessing. So, with Abraham, through whom, to this day, we are still blessed. Dispensation of mankind, let's not just load all the people on one side. Dispensation of mankind, dispensation of the patriarchs, dispensation of the nations of Israel, dispensations of the Son, then dispensation of humanity now. Us. In fact, it's not humanity, it's the church. I don't like that yes of yours. Now, yet the dispensation of the church cannot happen without Abraham. From Abraham came the 12 tribes. Guess what? They were blessed through Abraham. Do you know what gets even more exciting? The Lord Jesus Christ himself. He was not blessed through Abraham, but he submitted to the blessing of Abraham. Let me explain. What did he say to them? Before Abraham was... Did he need to be baptized? How do you baptize God? But did he get baptized? He submitted to it willingly. Do you know that day when Abraham was not feeling well? Because it's not there. Do you know when Abraham, was a bit short on cattle and money? Because it's not there. Do you know that time when Abraham had backslidden and was not talking to God? Because it's not there. Spirit, soul, prosperity or blessing must cover all the three. Is that making sense? Let's go back to the famous blessing chapter. So, he says, blessed will you be in the city and blessed will you be in the field. Blessed shall be the fruit of your body and the fruit of your ground and the fruit of your cattle. Okay, so he's saying the fruit of your body, which is your children, will be blessed. What does that mean? Spirit, soul, and body. What about spirit? Abraham never was disconnected from Jehovah. Are you here? Body, he never was sick one day, neither did you find him hungry another day. Soul, Abraham was a master tactician. It requires a man with an uncommon mentality to go and destroy 9 nations. The king, King Abimelech, came to sit down with him, saying, daughter, let's do an agreement here. Abraham asked, what is the agreement that you want to do? He said, you will not attack us. Abraham said, no problem. He said, please, when I die, don't remove my child from power. I want Chatunga to also rule. You're still here? Yes. So now we look. Remember when he said, blessed in the field, in the city, blessed in the field? We still are not. Still not. So what does it mean? Now when he says, blessed shall be your children. If I ask you right now, what is a blessing to your children? How many of you are confused by that? What it means if God has blessed your children. Who is confused by it? You don't know what it means. Hello? Okay, the 3 of you. Okay, so stay with me. The rest will tell me when they want to join us. Okay, it says, blessed will be the fruit of your cattle, the increase of your kind. Blessed shall be the increase, and the flocks of your sheep. Blessed shall be your basket and your store. Isiphala nxa sibusisiwe ngesinjani? Sorry? Ngesinjani? Siyaphuphuma. Akula makhundwana. Akula mawivula awezana. Am I talking to myself here? Okay, so you're still with me. Blessed shall you be when you come in, and blessed will you be when you go out. So clarity is dropping in just toe. The Lord shall cause your enemies will rise up against you to be smitten before your face. Any confusion there? That means you will not have your wallet picked by a pickpocket. They shall come against you one way and flee before you 7 ways. The Bible calls that what? A blessing. The Lord will command his blessing upon you in your storehouse and in all that you set your hand unto. He will bless you in the land which the Lord gives you. The Lord will establish you to be a holy people unto himself, as he has sworn unto you, if you will keep the commandments of the Lord your God. And all the people of the earth shall see that you are called by the name of the Lord, and the Lord shall make you, the Lord shall make you, the Lord shall make you, the Lord shall make you abundant in goods. The Lord will make you abundant in goods. Not kokelela kokelela. Abundant. I'm going to share something with you in a moment. Remember, we haven't gone into the notebook. If you don't read your notebook, that's your own endeavor, not mine. The Lord will make you plentiful in goods. You will not just have enough goods. You will have the goods in plenty. Is that making sense? That's what religion fights against. You know, these churches, you know, they're so materialistic. You know, they want to talk about, you know, what about poor people? You know, are you saying that poor people are not blessed? If you are blessed, why are you looking for a job? Who did you know who went looking for a job, found a job? What I mean, I've been 300. Please, increase. I don't want any increases. I'm funny medical aid. I'm funny bonus. I'm funny 300. Nyabe saying right. Jehovah wami uyangilondoloza. Who have you ever met? The spirit of religion is a bastard spirit. You want people to be comfortable with nothing. That's an abomination, that. So let's go. We are going to do some reading. So the Lord will make you plentiful in what? In goods. In the fruit of your body, that means you will have many children. In the fruit of your cattle, in the fruit of your ground, in the land which the Lord swore unto your fathers to give you. What is he saying? He will give you plenty goods, plenty children, plenty cattle, plenty harvest, plenty stuff in the land. You see, that doesn't bless many people. That drives me crazy. Me, I don't have that. Some of your responses to wealth, you know, hallelujah, praise God. No, I do not have. I have a particular hotel. If I'm not staying with Josh in Joburg, we have a particular hotel we stay in. Everything is fantastic. Don't even know why some of the things are there. All right? Why do I prefer that to any of the conventional hotels, Holiday Inn, blah, 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 blah? Because I don't feel like I'm in a hotel. If it's just me and my wife, there are 2 bedrooms. The lounge has a huge screen TV this big. And so do the bedrooms have. Each bedroom is en suite. When we have visitors, they do not use our bathroom. They use the visitor's bathroom. You have a fully stocked kitchen with everything. When I say everything, I mean from stoves, fridges, microwave ovens, washing machines, drying machine, tumble dryer for a dishwasher. I don't even know. The best part I love is the herbal liquid shower gel. When you come from bathing, you smell like heaven. All the towels are white, very soft, huge king-size bed. Mina izinto lezi azingikhubi bathandekayo. Azingikhubi. You will not find me offended by such things. You know one thing about life? You know one thing about life? Your mouth, your brain attracts towards you what your life is positioned for. Whatever, people sit in church. When the word of prosperity is taught, you have some people having withdrawal symptoms. They are offended. And I will explain to you during the course of this. This is going to be so different to every Life of Blessing seminar you've ever had. The Lord will open unto you his good treasure. You know what that means? That kufana lo mama akungenise bedroom yakhe. O mama balenda lapha bafihla khona imali. Okay, nasali different phela, right? Linenu ihlala ku ATM. Thina abethu babengela ama ATM. Kwakulenda wayesithi umama nxa esethatha imali akhiya umnyango angene bedroom. And she sometimes would have two places. One which is the main account. Then lenye eziwa ngubaba. Eziwa ngubaba was the subsidiary account. Leano kumbile $200, lenile $4,000. Ubaba nxa ngilona lempondo abuya sentshontsha 200 leana. She doesn't know kule 4,000 somewhere. And ungabona ele two ma accounts is because uhlala lo mampondwane. Are you still here? Says the Lord will open unto you his good treasure, the heaven to give rain to your land in his season, to bless all the work of your hand, so that you will lend unto many nations, and you shall not borrow. So how did poverty become a blessing? The Bible says you will lend and not. You sure you're getting this? So don't worry if you don't enjoy. This is one of those seminars I absolutely enjoy. Mina bathandekayo, I love prosperity. Let me tell you right now, I love prosperity. I'm not going to lie to you. I love prosperity. I love the fact that right now I can just go to the farm and choose which sheep to eat. Choose which goat to slaughter. It's not a prayer point. I got a call from someone said, last week I've got some chickens for you. Okay. Someone said, no, there are 3 chickens and chicks. So I said, okay. Are you sure? Yes. I thought the person meant, I want you to go and keep them for me. That would have made sense. So, no, they are yours. What do you mean they are mine? I actually asked them on the phone. Explain to me, what do you mean? He says, no, I'm giving them to you. I want you to have them. I was left absolutely speechless. What do you say? The person could have slaughtered them and put them in their fridge. So I got 7 chickens. At the end, when they arrived, instead of the 3 that I was told, there were 7 chickens. 3 of them, each had its own little brood of chicks. By someone who could have had this chair. Are you sure you are understanding this? Did you know that no one visited Solomon without bringing him wealth? Is this making sense? So, the shortage mentality, the little mentality, the enough mentality. Mina mara kangizwisisi. Kangizwisisi. And we'll explain from a non-Christian perspective. I'm going to explain some things to you. All right, so let's go. You still here? Yes. And the Lord will make you the... I didn't hear you. And that means I'm not going to be... I didn't hear you. I'm not going to be behind. Yesterday, after the meeting, I was leaving. Was it yesterday or Friday? Yesterday. It's yesterday when I was leaving. And this little kid came to me and said to me, Kulu, I said I wasn't so sure whether it spoke to me in English or in Shona. But I said I can't remember well whether the child said, Kulu, I want to do well at school. So I said, okay. All right. So I called for my oil. I took the oil and I anointed the child. This is a small little girl. So then I asked her and I said, whose child is this? A mother came up and said, oh, that's my daughter. So I said, okay. Son, you can't talk well. Child had just finished talking to me. Mother said, can't talk well. I said, are you sure? Said, yes. Said, are you sure? I said, yes. I said, okay, talk to the child and then come back to me and tell me that the child can talk. Child spoke fluently to me. So mother was bringing that as a prayer point. Didn't know the prayer point had been settled already. The child was healed before they spoke to me. Are you sure this is making sense? This is a child who understands that there is nothing normal about her not doing well at school. She doesn't know the scripture, but she knows that she must be the head and not the tail. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We will celebrate with that little baby of mine. Bible says, you shall not go aside from the words which I command you this day to go to the right or the left, because then the curse will come upon you. Okay. So, what is a curse? What is the relationship between a curse and a blessing? I'm not hearing you. Sorry, what did you say? So I can tell a blessing when you tell me what a curse is. Correct or not? Shall come to pass, if you won't listen to the voice of the Lord your God to observe, to do all these statutes which he command you, that these curses shall come upon you and overtake you. Cursed will you be in the city and cursed will you be in the field. We compare that. We already had, blessed shall you be in the city. So we are not clear, you know, what is it referring to? We're not clear. Cursed shall be your basket in your store. Yeah, we're still not clear. Cursed shall be the fruit of your body. Now we are beginning to have an idea. You don't need anyone to tell you your child is cursed. You don't need a prophet. Are you sure you're getting this? When your child loves wicked, devilish things, and they are bringing Dr. Dre music into your house, and they do not love anything to do with God, you know there is a curse there. It's gone quiet. Let's continue. Curse shall be the fruit of your land. We already knew what the blessing of the land was. Curse shall be the increase of your kind, meaning what? Instead of increase, you will have decrease. And the flocks of curse shall you be when you come in, when you go out, the Lord will send thee cursing, vexation. He will send you cursing and he will send you vexation. What is vexation? The person is just walking. I'm trying to get right tongue. Kazanga cool eluto. Kazanga never. Person is vexed. Madness is a vexation of the soul. Are you sure you are getting this? All right, let's go. He will send you rebuke in all that you set your hand unto to do. Meaning, you wanted to do something, it will not be accomplished. Are you sure you are getting this? All right? It says, and in all you set your hand unto until you are destroyed. What is to be destroyed? To perish, yes? To be scattered. Talk to me. Think. This is not a seminar for you to sit on your brain. Think. To toil, yes? To be wasted, yes? To suffer. To lack. To have little. Sorry? To be dysfunctional. To be afflicted. It means when the other one is building, you are unbuilding. Are you sure you are getting this? Remember I said you can tell, if you know the blessing, you know the curse. If you know the curse, you know the blessing. Okay, so let's go. No more religious locus of entertaining that little is enough. It says, until you are destroyed and until you perish quickly because of the wickedness of your doings. Why? You refuse to listen to the Lord, whereby you have forsaken me. But let me tell you right now, 24th of this month, if you find you are getting to that date, you have no people that you are bringing to the Lord, you must know you have a dangerous covenant with a curse. And I'll show you when you see, I haven't gone to the notes as yet. Bible says, the Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto you. What is pestilence? Disease. Until he has consumed you from off the land whither you go to possess it. The land which Jehovah gave you to possess, Jehovah will destroy you so that you do not possess the land. The Lord will smite you with a consumption. What is a consumption? It is a disease that consumes the body. Is that making sense? Part of these sicknesses is regardless of what you eat, the body will not respond. Some of you have shown you, by the way, people having surgery being done and out comes worms that fill a plate this big. Some of the worms are 1 meter long. When you eat, only 30% of the food goes into your system. 70% the worms are consuming. And with a fever, with an inflammation, with an extreme burning, with a sword, with blasting, with mildew, and they shall pursue you until you perish. Your heaven over your head shall be brass, and the earth under you shall be iron. That means the heaven will say no. The earth will say no. You are not getting anything from the heavens. You are getting nothing from the earth. The Lord shall cause you to be smitten before your enemies. You go into battle, you are always the victim. You shall go against it one way, flee before them 7 ways. You shall be removed into all the kingdoms. Your carcass shall be meat for the fowls of the air. The Lord will smite you with the botch of Egypt. This is now a disease that causes sores. With the emeralds, with the scab, with the itch, whereby you will not be healed. He will smite you with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart. Astonishment of heart is madness. And you shall grope at noonday. It means you will be walking, but you won't see where you are going. As the blind gropes in darkness, you shall not prosper in your ways. You shall be oppressed and spoiled evermore. No man will save you. You will marry a wife for someone else to sleep with her. You will build a house so that someone else lives in it. I've got to stop here. And yet, the religious movement has been trying for years to teach people, no, it's all right. These worldly things. Which is why you will find, particularly with us Africans, we have no problem sinners being rich. That's why Jehovah, from the time he spoke to me, Maleme, rest camp, had been asked by my pastor at that time. I was the youngest leader. I was asked to go and share with a group of leaders. And the Lord spoke to me that morning as I was in prayer. And he said, son, I will prosper you so that you may demonstrate and show a different form of prosperity, not the prosperity of collecting offerings from people. You sure you are here? Yes. Now, let me just share with you something. And I'm deliberately laying a foundation. There are scientific reasons that have been found why poor people remain poor. Scientific, not biblical, but scientific. Which are the reasons why people can be in a place like here where they are taught the word of God, but they will not receive it. Is that making sense? Yes. What is the mindset of wealth? The mindset of wealth is I can do something and create something. The mindset of poverty is I will see what will happen to me. Wealthy people believe in solutions. Poor people believe in life happening to them. Number 2, wealthy people believe they will be wealthy. And it doesn't matter if something happens in their lives and they lose everything, they still believe that they will be wealthy. Then you have the accidental wealthy people. He got wealthy because what you want him 17. Gumbe wapena. Katesi. Gasela nigis. Ngengayan. Because ingondo yake lumuntu. is a mind of loss. Wealthy people believe, they honestly, you could be sitting with them here right now and they have nothing. But they don't see what you see. You see nothing. They see someone with a plan going somewhere. You will never hear such people describe themselves in the pathetic terms poor people describe themselves by. And you'll find they're always trying to find something. Poor people are always trying to be found by something. Akula muntu ongincedisayo mina. Yazi isihlobo zami zonke abafowethu kathesa omnye swathenga imoto eGoli. Kasinakekeli thina sihleli khona apha so. Umuntu lobo ukuthi athumele 100 rand. That's a poor person talking. A wealthy person never thinks that way. The wealthy's mindset is, my brother, can I please come to South Africa and just work for 3 months? Hey, is it possible maybe I can stay with you? I can stay in your boys' car. Please, I won't disturb your family. That's a wealthy person. What are they saying? I can create something. Are you sure you are understanding this? Number three. Because I don't want this to become a religious exercise where people just hear nice things and then go home and nothing happens in their lives. Prosperous people are committed to being prosperous. Poor people want to be rich. Sounds the same, isn't it? Poor people want to be rich. Can I have my drink? Prosperous people are committed to be rich. The prosperous have a commitment. The poor would like it. Ngicase ngithini? Sokucacile na? Number 4. I'm not going into any of these because they are not, in the time allocation. Wealthy people think big. Poor people think small. Huge difference. Huge difference. Me and my wife live at a level 10 times higher than people with 10 times more money than we have. We were taking our long walk last night and we were looking at some things and we were laughing. There are places where environments I just knew were not designed for me. Let me explain this. Please hear me. Inside each person, inside each human being, God placed a standard. When the standard is violated, the person lives dysfunctional. Let me repeat this again. Yikwe makhaya. Gulo dube laphana ulenkomo 50. Gulo ncube laphana ulenkomo 15. But Ncube's standard of living is way higher than Dube's one. Let me explain again. Explain again. The challenge of black business people. Most of the business people that you have known, traditional business people, their lives are defined by one word: toil. Imali was never meant to be enjoyed. What about Dalaguban? They will have 500 head of cattle. Abantwana besidla ngamasi. Because they drive rickety cars. It's almost like it's a sin to go and buy a nice, comfortable car. Are you sure you're getting this? That mindset is a mindset that doesn't understand the function or the meaning of blessing. So umuntu impilo yakhe 5 a.m. up, 11 ebusuku to bed. Very beautiful house. Sometimes you don't know whether it's a scrapyard. Are you beginning to get the picture? Broken down cars in the yard. Who's as long as one day? Who's as long as? Who's as long as? Lay ngiyokutwala umumbu, liyana ngiyokutwala inkomo, liyana ngiyokutwala into ze supermarket, liyana ngiyokutwala lokho. They haven't moved for 10, 15 years. You enter the house, it's dead on the inside. There is no substance. Everything in the house is for display like a museum. It's not for enjoyment. I think you're beginning to get the picture. And into zabo Phiri benu laba ngigqoka perfume njengomfazi. Ungani umuntu wacatshelwa intebe yogqoka amakhakhi. You've got $1 million in the bank. At least now uzathenga ikhakhi, thenga i-wrinkle resistant, i-wrinkle free. Uthenge lawo izicathulo as right. No ugqoka ikhakhi ukhanya ukuthi no, lo ngukhakhi olemali, lo ngukhakhi ongelamali. You know what the difference is? Small-mindedness in the midst of plenty. There is no blessing we are talking about there. There's no blessing. Because if it is not enhancing the quality of your life, it's not ubonga usebenza toil, then one day you talk on which are a heart attack. All the money he should have been using for holidays, medical air rescue to be flown to South Africa for emergency procedures. Holidays, you wouldn't have needed an emergency procedure. Are you sure this is making sense? Number 5, rich people focus on opportunities. Remember I said they are creators. Poor people focus on obstacles. Rich people is opportunities. Poor people is obstacles. You glorify the most unglorifiable things. You'll never go, you have never heard a Chinese song, a Japanese song, a Korean song, which was talking about how tough it is for us, how we are suffering. Only black people, both in Africa and in the United States, are the ones who sing about trouble. Glorify drugs, glorify gangsterism, glorify things that are unglorifiable. I'm going to stop there. I'll be giving you this on a daily basis. Amen. But please hear me. If your brain is wrong, and your religion is right, your life will be confused. Here, Romans chapter 12 verse 1, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. This thing here has to be renewed. I'm not hearing that very well. And the challenge, the most pronounced challenge in our lives. In fact, I remember it was my young sister who would say, ingqondo zakhe ziyamzonda. Never used to make sense. Now it makes sense. Only now it makes sense to me. I don't think Yena even actually fully understood what it means. Umuntu osondwa zingqondo zakhe. Your brain refuses for you to go and receive and take the portion that belongs to you. Why? Because it's more comfortable to remain where you are. It is said scientifically, one of the challenges with people who remain poor is a psychological disconsonance. They will look at a rich person and hate him for being rich. Once they want the riches, then because they hate that rich person, be talking to the people, what has Undofa got to do with being rich? They are looking for an excuse to explain their current situation. They want these riches. But because you always repel what you stand and talk against. Are you sure? Why do you think, are you aware poor people never celebrate wealthy people? Getting quiet here. Hear me again. When our lives began to change, when it appeared as if God was doing good for us, we lost all our friends. We lost all our friends. The older people here know, after independence, 1980, from about 1981, 82, 83, going to the early 90s, black people began to migrate from Emalogichin, Betengizin, Jamayatin. As soon as the person made the mistake, Yogutengin, Jamayatin, abantu bemalokitshini didn't want to have anything to do with that person. Why umthengisi? Ngale mayadini ababehlala khona, the whites didn't want them. Nxa bebuyela ngale elokitshini nge-weekend bese bayavakatsha, the people didn't want them. Some of you think this is a preaching example. No, this is reality. Umuntu uyazenzisa, umuntu uyazenzisa. Uyahambisa ehlala emayadini lapha abantu abangakhulumisani khona. Ucanti ngabuya lapho kuzakhulumisana labantu. What when you saw a house, was gonna know before I buy the house. ngifuna uqala mbuza omakhelwane bonke labo sizabe sikhulumisana yini wathola omakhelwane bakhona bakhulumisa wathi hani nisayifuna indlu yakhona. The split mentality, where a person, I remember some years back discovering one of my daughters was actually very anti-prosperity. Right. And yet she was living in poverty. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Life of Blessing Seminar. Now we can start. The Bible teaches us, 3 John chapter 1 verse 2, beloved, I wish above all that you may prosper and be in health, even. And the word prosper means, number one, you do help on the road or succeed in reaching. Succeed in reaching what? Your vision, your goals, your dreams. Number two, solak. It means to push forward. To break out. Breakthrough. But prosperous. It means to be profitable. To be profitable means you begin with one quantity and end with a higher quantity. Number three, the word sokal, it means to be intelligent, because you can't be prosperous. It means to deal prudently, to have good success. Number four is the word shalol, which means to be secure, or to be successful, or to be happy. You can't be prosperous or blessed and unhappy. Is that not amazing? It also is the word kosher, which means to be right. Is that not amazing? When you are blessed, you are right. Right, that's where it comes from. What are they meaning? They mean things are going well. Are you sure you are here? To be successful, ladies and gentlemen, must cover, as we said, those three dimensions or three areas. Your spirit, your soul, your body. We must therefore understand that not one of them must suffer at the expense of another. Your spirit must not suffer because of your mind. So you can't not be in brutal prayer because it's exam time. Satan. Are you sure you're getting this? There is nothing like walking into an exam room after having spent brutal time in prayer. Look at that exam paper and tell it, exam paper, you are under me. Whatever I did not read, which is inside you, I shall answer you. That's the difference. You can't do that because ububala nxa ubale kakhulu wafika lapha wathola ama questions ongazange wabale webale stress. Akhona ulo Jehovah. Are you sure it's making sense? 2 Samuel chapter 22 verse 20, he says, he brought me forth also into a large place. He delivered me because he delighted in me. There are three things there. Let's go. He brought me to a large place. So the place he brought me was large. Number two, he delivered me. Are you still here? The Bible says it was because he delighted in me. How did he delight in me? Because my life is right with him. What is that talking about? My spirit. He delivered me. Where is oppression? He brought me into a... What does that relate to? Are you sure you're getting this? Some of you are clever enough these days. Sometimes you slip off, go to Gerism, because you want to be in a large place. I know it sounds insulting if I say it, but I'm still going to say it. Townships are the most unnatural place ever created by humanity. Flats are worse than townships. I know that is logicin sema flatin sabona ngani ses upgrade. No, you kuhlanya. Okay, let me explain to you. You are in a place where you can't run away anyway. What is the difference between a flat and prison? Number of rooms. I told you it will sound like as if I'm insulting. Reality is I'm not. You have flats where you have a window. In front of the window is the next flat, umtuli. So you ask yourself, what is the function of this window? Are you still here? Yes. Flats where you go stand by the window, you are looking at rusted roofs. Okay, let me show you something. Sathi siza sizosebenza town. Sasihlala emakhaya. So let me give you some history because some of us don't seem to know. Sasihlala emakhaya. When they started building these towns, Bulawayo, Gweru and all, they had to recruit us from emakhaya. Let me show you how stupid it was. We started working, we didn't need the jobs. Nobody needed to work for the white men. Not one person needed a job. Ekaya wawulomuzi wakho. Ulamasimakho. Remember, we are now talking 200 years back. Are you still here? The number of amakayako and akates are an absolute joke. 90% of them were not there. Most people stepped out of their homestead into the bush. No, not into what you see now, into the bush. Abantu abaningi babesizwa izilwane zibhonga mabe phakathi kwendlu. People would wake up if they did not have a very secure big fence. They would see lion paws. Eyatin. We swapped that for what? Pumemnyango. Usemkokweni. Are you sure you're getting this? Abantu babesuka bahambe emfuleni. Umuntu ahambe kwakule ndawo zokugeza. I know many of our young people right now would freak out and die if you told them you used to go and bath by the river. You never bath by the river. Trust me, there are experiences of life you will never relate to. Get to the place, water is flowing. There was never a time where city council switched off water. If you wanted to take a walk, you were right in the thick jungle. No pollution in the air, no noise of cars, no nothing. You swapped it for places okugeleza khona isiwage. Phuma endlini xa usenjube uyathi 1 2 3 4 usemgwaqweni. Bible says he brought me forth into a large place. He delivered me because he delighted in me. That's not a large place. Are you sure you understand this? Remember when my father was, you know, once in a while when my father would be very excited, he used to tell us all these fake stories, you know, to make jokes, and so we'd be laughing as kids. And so he told me how Mpopoma was given its name. So he was telling me of the migration of the Nguni people from South Africa on their way to Malawi via Zambia. And he says, so the king arrived there and they camped, and the place was so nice. And the people slept, and because of the beauty of the place, the sleep was so beautiful. When they woke up, everyone was saying, "Epano ndipokoma choncho." That means this is a very nice place. Some of the people around didn't hear well. They thought they said "Epano ndimpopoma." It's okay, you missed that. Psalms 118 verse 5, I called upon the Lord in distress. The Lord answered me, and he set me in a large place. Prosperity, it's never been an issue with God, but with you and me. Jehovah does not struggle with prosperity. Mark 8:36, what shall it profit a man if he gains the whole world but loses his soul? So the word of God, or prosperity and blessing, is first of all primarily not about things. Spirit. Let's go again. Spirit, soul, with my spirit, I connect with the Father. Yes. With my soul, I connect with my environment. Right. With my body, I connect with myself. Did anyone miss that? Therefore, come back. Prosperity and blessing. Start first of all with your spirit. That's why the person who accumulated goods without God has never enjoyed them. Are you sure you're getting this? Yes. That's why the Bible says contentment. With what? With what? Contentment with godliness is of great gain. Contentment. You are only content in your spirit. Peace, which people are trying to look for in a country. You can go to America, you will never find peace. Because peace is a function of your spirit, not of your environment. That's why the Bible says that shall keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on you, because he believes in you. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear nothing. Are you here? So blessing begins with spirit. Then comes to, because now it's affecting the way I think. Watch. When I have not connected to the Father by my spirit, I can raise up hands, speak in tongues, but think wrong. Wrong brain, right religion brings frustration. Whenever you hear people testifying of what Jehovah did for them, you hear like smiling, but in the inside, you're smiling. On the inside, you are cringing. A little demon is busy whispering to you, they are lying, they are lying, they are lying. Is that making sense? Therefore, the Lord wants us to understand prosperity from that perspective. Chapter 1, making God first in our finances. Matthew chapter 6, verse 21, for where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. So where your treasure is, your heart will also be found right there. Are you still here? We find, if we start where it all begins, book of Genesis, the fall of man, then God has to give man instructions that must be articulated by another man, because the man refused to listen to God himself. When they arrived in the book of Exodus at Mount Sinai, they refused to let God speak to them. So God began to give them principles. Principle number 1, the firstborn is sacrifice. Exodus 13 verse 12, you will set apart unto the Lord all that opens the matrix, that means the firstborn child or the firstborn animal. And every firstling that comes of a beast which you have, the males shall be the Lord's. And every firstling of an ass you shall redeem with a lamb. If you will not redeem it, you shall break its neck. And all the firstborn of men among your children you shall redeem. Okay. I know we've explained this in the past. I'm still going to explain it. So, I have cattle. The cattle I have donkeys, I have sheep, I have cattle.
Right.
The firstborn male of the donkey, remember, all the firstborn.
Yes.
All the firstborn what? Why? I didn't hear you. Why do they belong to the Lord? Why do they belong to the Lord? They can't be because they opened the matrix. Because God said so. Period. Don't try to be a scientist. Because God said so. Period. He made the world. He created everything. He can say whatever he wants. You getting this? Firstborn of the donkey. Firstborn of the sheep. Firstborn of the cow. The Bible says you will offer them to the Lord.
Right.
Hello?
Yes.
We're going to offer, can we offer a sheep?
Yes.
Sorry?
Yes.
Where do you find that? Book of Leviticus, don't bother. Can we offer a cow?
Yes.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay. Why? Because both of them part the hoof. Can we offer the donkey?
No.
Why? Does it part the hoof?
No.
The donkey doesn't part the hoof. Are you sure? Does the donkey part the hoof? No. In fact, there are two things it doesn't do that disqualify it. It doesn't part the hoof and it doesn't chew the... Now you are becoming smart. But it belongs to the Lord. Hello? So what are we going to do with it? Because this one here we can offer, that one we can offer. If we want to keep it, we redeem it. If you don't want to redeem it, that means you must kill it and bury it. Why did you kill it? Because it's not yours. Are you sure you are hearing me? Are you sure you're getting this? Watch. There's something called sickness. Do you know why you break its neck? It's not yours. Someone's still not getting this. You know why you can't keep a demon? I didn't hear you. It doesn't belong to you. But we have a problem. So I want you to get the differences. The firstborn of the sheep, we offer it, we sacrifice it. It's not redeeming it. It's sacrifice. Redemption is when we take that sheep, which is not the firstborn, and we slaughter that in place of the animal that may not be sacrificed. So that becomes a redemptive offering, because it is redeeming this one. It means this one must give its life for that one, because you want to keep that one, and it is always the clean that must redeem the unclean. And Herod and Pontius Pilate received the CIO report that said this Jesus was clean. I'm talking to myself now. Because you and me are unclean. Isaiah says, for all of us are as filthy rags. Are you getting this? Jehovah wanted to keep. The only way he kept us was to get the one that was clean. He was prepared to take the clean one to keep the unclean. That's why you can't be proud when you understand what the Bible says. Is this making sense? Number 2, first fruits are offered. What are the first fruits? The fruit that comes first of your produce. The first fruits of the, or rather the first of the first fruits of your land, you shall bring into the house of the Lord. Exodus 23, verse 19. And thou shalt not delay to offer the first of thy ripe fruits and thy liquors. The firstborn of thy sons thou shalt give unto me. All right, you still here? Yes. Proverbs 3 verse 9. Bible says, honor the Lord with your substance and with the first fruits of all your increase. So shall your barns be filled with plenty. Watch. This is where the problem is. People have been taught faith that is 50% correct. Tithing does not require faith. It requires obedience. Are you sure you're getting this? But, come with me. Honor the Lord with your substance and with the first fruits of all your... The Bible didn't say, believe me. It said, honor. So shall your barns be filled with plenty, and your presses will burst out with new wine. You can't be tither and scattered. All in one sentence. Not possible, I'm sorry. Not possible. Shakada bibia mambala hataka. Minu Jehova so into angenzela zone. Is he unfair futhi kazirayithanga? Very unfair. The things Jehovah does for me. Some of the things I can't share with you right now because they happened whilst I was sitting in my office, so I have to pass them through the Politburo meeting tonight. And then, what are we talking about here? The principle of putting God first. Let me show you something. Let me show you something. The principle of the tithe, the principle of the first fruits, is a principle of priority. Watch. It establishes who is who in your life. Watch. 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 Who's the first person you speak to when something happens in your life? That's actually the person you value. So you have some married people who always hear what their husbands are doing from the husband's brother or from the brother's wife. If something happens and he tells his family first, those are the ones he should be married to. The principle of first things is a principle of priority. So watch. When my crops come in or when my flocks increase, what is the first thought in my mind? Am I thinking about how much money I'm going to make from the sale, or am I thinking of the sacred portion? That's how many Christians' businesses have tumbled and died. But Tandagaya, please hear me. When you cannot honor God when you are earning 500, you will never honor him with 5,000. I know many people have this mentality, you know, when I have more money, I will. It's a lie. I think it's the third thing. Number 3, the tithe must be the first. Leviticus 27 verse 30, and the tithe of the land, whether of the seed of the land, the fruit of the tree, is the Lord's, it is holy unto the Lord. And if a man will at all redeem any of his tithes, he shall add thereto a 5th part thereof. Okay, so what does that mean? That means when I have a tithe that I need to redeem, So for argument's sake, I have a maize crop, or I have cattle, and I have a tithe of the cattle. So I have 2 beasts as a tithe. But then I want to keep the beasts. Because also if I bring them here, what are you going to do with them? What are you going to do with them? A church, that's not possible. So I should find the value and then add 20%. Because you are redeeming you have made it unclean because you are keeping it. Lisakhona?
Yes.
All right. The rest of the notes you will read. You will read for your own consider. Chapter 2. I want to make sure every day I want to have question time. It's very important for me. I know many of you don't have questions, but I want to make sure the few that have, that they are asked. Chapter 2, the principle of multiplication. The principle of multiplication is absolutely fundamental. Why? Because in order for you to experience abundance, you cannot have addition. It's okay, some of you will get it. You cannot experience abundance with addition. You can only experience abundance with multiplication. What did God say to Abraham? That in blessing I will bless you, and in adding I will add to you. What did he say? Right. What is the difference between addition and multiplication? Addition adds onto a thing almost on a flat graph. Multiplying causes or gives an exponential growth. Are you sure you are still here? So, the Lord adds to you. Maybe you are doing what? You want to start, you've started a mango plantation. You've got 40 trees. And you are harvesting daily during mango season. You are taking to the market. Multiplication is that then someone comes and says, but your mangoes are so nice. Why have you just only, why are you doing 40? No, 40 was the one I would afford. How much space have you got? Oh, I can put 400. Okay, can you please work out and come and talk to me? So you go there sheepishly, looking all funny, and you get there and you say, yes, you'd say, I must see you. Oh, yes, come in. What is it coming up to? Well, the new seed I need is 6,500 US. And then, like a typical poverty mentality, you start explaining and making excuses, and you say, you know, but if I can double from 40 to 80, the person says, you said how much would be to do the 400, 6,500. Okay, please give my PA your number. Just confirm with me by tomorrow whether the money is reflecting. That's it, it's finished. Okay, now, Let me tell you why many of us never experience this sort of a thing. Number one, because we never expect it. Number two, because the ones God normally speaks to are so small-minded, they think poverty. Poor people think in terms of subtraction. Prosperous people think in terms of multiplication. If God tells me to give 6,500, it depends on how much I have. If I've got $8,000 in my account, I know, God, you are up to something absolutely huge. You are not going to ask me to do this for nothing. And tell from your amens that we need help. Multiplication. I shared with you the Papa Deboya's story when they were at the grounds in Lagos, New Year's Day. And Papa Deboya is always, you know, he basically just strolls along and just, like he's just talking, just you know, like admonishing. If you do not understand the grace behind that, you will just hear a voice. That's all you'll hear. Just a voice. You'll miss Jehovah behind the voice. I never forget the first time I watched him preaching. Came up and he was having a crusade. There was just the scaffolding. And he got up there and he began to talk. And he says, well, our Father says, I must tell you now, all those with cancer, you will be healed now. And people said, man. I thought this is weird. And he says, Daddy just told me now, there is someone, God is restoring your house today. Man. And he says, well, miracles have just started now. All those on wheelchairs, you are going to come out. All those on crutches, you are going to throw them away. All those who are blind, you will start to see now. And transport will collect you from where you are. I'm thinking, what do you mean transport will collect you? And then the camera tried to zoom to show the people. The camera could not travel to where the people ended. And these are high definition, high speed cameras. People were boarding buses to come to the altar call. When buses started delivering people carrying their own wheelchairs, carrying their crutches, I sat there absolutely spellbound, dumbfounded. Guess what? That same word goes out every Sunday. Familiarity is what bred the fox. So in one New Year's Eve service, he stood up. In fact, he is preaching, and so he'll start making these prophetic declarations. And he said, in this new year, I see someone being blessed. God will give you a new house. And of course, people, you get two types of responses. The one you guys normally do because you are expected to. And then you get those who respond because they are responding from here. There was a messenger living in rented apartment in the meeting. When he heard that word, he shot through, jumped sky high, shouted, amen. People thought this guy is mad. Those who knew him, but he new house, yes, but kulabantu abafanelwa new house. January, companies opened, arrived there, and like a typical Yoruba, he was a messenger. Drove the company car, collected parcels, delivered parcels, and he was the CEO's personal guy. CEOs in these companies, these big companies, I don't want to offend you, but I can tell you it is still happening in South Africa. It used to happen in Zimbabwe. They could change their furniture every 2 years. That's part of their contract. And they bought the most expensive furniture. And they kept the old furniture. I know that because I saw it in our own company. So, the guy walks into the CEO's office and arrived there, laid down. That is what the Yoruba people, you've seen it when you are watching Nigerian TV. Laid down and he rolled this way, rolled that way, and rolled back. Then he stood up, greeted the boss. That is a mark of honor. It is a mark, it is saying, I defer to you. Are you here? And you stood up, greeted him as he was about to leave. The CEO asked him, messenger boy. That's how he would call him. Messenger boy, how was Christmas? No, it was very good, sir. It's very good. And okay. As he was walking out, right by the door, messenger boy, did I do something for you for Christmas? Sheepishly, you know, he's a Christian, a godly man. Didn't want to look. He just turned around and said, not really, sir. I said, okay. All right, come back later to my office. Came back later to his office. Opened a drawer, pulled out keys, had a slip of paper with an address, handed over to him and said, go and look at that house and see if you like it. Messenger boy stood there in absolute shock, didn't understand, you know, what exactly are you talking about? So he gathered enough courage. I say, I don't understand what my assignment is. Says, no, messenger boy. I bought that house, but I don't need it. All right? In fact, if I'm not wrong, I think he was an expatriate or he was a local. I can't remember well. Messenger boy, after work, took combis. It's a wealthy neighborhood. So he's sure there is something is not making sense here. He can't be giving me a house. Eventually, he got to the house, double-story house. Tried the keys opened. Went in, laid down on the floor, and just started rolling. The only thing in his heart is thinking is, tomorrow, this will be reversed. I'm sure there is another house that he wanted to give me somewhere in the township. But he made a mistake. He went to work the next day with the keys to go and return them. Asked to see the PA, said, messenger boy is here to see you. Said, no, that's fine. When he walked in to then say, I'm sure there is a mistake. The house I went to is not fit for me. This was the CEO of the company. So you have a good idea what kind of a house this was. Before he just got in, greeted, good morning, sir, good morning, sir. He said, good morning, messenger boy. Did you go see the house? Messenger boy said, yes, sir. Said, did you like it? So he's thinking, what on earth is this man talking about? He says, yes, sir. And mentioned the address just to jog his memory that what he was talking about was wrong. That he gave him keys to the wrong house. So he said, I'm glad you enjoyed it, but the house is unfinished. Guy said, yes, it's unfinished. He said, okay, picked up the phone, phoned his PA. Please get in touch with the storage company. All his furniture from the previous year, which had now been changed, he gave instruction for the furniture to be delivered to the place. That's the faith I walk in and I have. You need to develop a faith that goes from addition to multiplication. Please take your seats. You'll read the rest at home.